When watching the YouTube video that we were watching for class, I first thought it was very interesting that the background for her presentation was current tweets that people were tweeting, because if you looked throughout the video, there were pictures of her and her speech, and I thought that was just an interesting way to back up her um, speech as well. And I liked her perspective on how she said public relations is now, and social media it used to be a nice to have, and now it's a need to have. With many things changing over the past couple years, public relations has now turned into a need to have, and our technology is growing, and with that, public relations has to grow with it as well. And she also put public relations is a two-way focus, and it opens up a two-way communication between the brand and the audiences. And I think also it's can be also more one-sided, as she discussed later on, because if a customer is not happy with the brand, they're going to be the first person to let you know. So she said we want to, she's mentioned 5 things of turning the customer into an adorer, and have amazing content with your brand, and target your audience, and make sure that you are a credible source, and that you follow up. And follow up is very important, again, because if the customer is not happy, you will know right away. And it goes back to that old saying, the customer is always right. And I think oftentimes we forget that, because if we don't go out of our way to create our brand and make sure people trust it, the customer will let us know, and as well as many others know, that it's not a good place for them, and people will turn away. I liked her example of the Carnival Cruise Line, and how she said that it was a Titanic disaster for public relations. How they just stopped with their media. Instead, they could have saved their image, and that public relations crisis went on for a while. Another PR crisis that reminds me of now is with the Olympics in Russia. Many of the journalists and other media sources are not happy with the way that the conditions are, so they have made it known, and have been making it known, that they're not happy with the situation over there. And there have even been rumors that the government is putting video cameras in some of the rooms, and in a way basically spying on the Americans, because they're saying that the rooms aren't as bad, and that we're being a little bit dramatic. So that is also an interesting perspective of how right away, no matter where you are in the world, with a tweet or a text or something posted on Facebook, the media grabs it and runs with it for a while. And so it's also just important to, again, follow up. And so as you watch the media and the news within the next couple weeks with the Olympics going on, it will be interesting to see how this plays out, since the media have had an interesting start with the Olympics. I think it's also good that you, again, help the customers and build your brand, because if you don't build your brand, they are going to run it for you. So it's important that we always remember that we need to be on top of it, and though at times we may fail, we need to make sure that the audience is aware that we're in control, because again, with the Carnival Cruise Line, they just kind of hid under a rock, and they waited 6 days, and then even after those 6 days, when they just decided to go off the media grid, the customers were running it for them. So people are looking now to be that you stand out, and you want your brand to stand out, and also as well be trusted. So we are looking to be celebrated, as she had said, and not chastised. So we just need to make sure that in a crisis we remain strong, and that we are the head of our brand, in that though things will often sometimes fail in our brand, we need to be focusing on communication even in a crisis, and always prepare for one, because obviously even with the example again that she used with Carnival Cruise Line, they didn't prepare. So the more that you are prepared for a situation, the better. And even if you aren't prepared, you can learn. And as long as we stay on top of it with the communications and the audiences, and we make person-to-person contact, I think that we are able to build our brand and be learning things in crisis. So I think the lecture was very interesting and taught me a lot about how social media, again, is so important, and you just want to stay on top of the new trends and stay on top of your brand.